Hello, this is the Depressed Dude. Finally going to do my review of the book House on the Borderland, which I have in this compilation of William Hope Hodgson stories. The House on the Borderland was the longest story in this thing, and I'd say the main event, even though it did come first. But yeah, this one has like a bunch of stories in it. From right here, like you see the House on the Borderland, and it has a bunch of other short stories. But like I said, the main event is The House on the Borderland, which was written in 1907. And considering how old it is, it's really, really weird and just strange. It's not a perfect story, but it was interesting. It doesn't really explain things precisely, and you kind of get a sense of confusion at times as there's a mention of this one character that it seems to be important, but it's only mentioned in passing once, and then they have a moment in the later on in the book, and it's like, when did this all happen? But it's good. It starts out with like two guys discovering the manuscript in the ruins near an abyss as they were doing some sort of hunting trip and fishing trip, and they go back to their camp. They didn't like that area because they felt it felt off, and they start reading through this guy's journal, and you find out that a bunch of strange stuff was going on at that house as the main guy lived there with his dog Pepper and his sister Mary. But Mary was not much of a character in this story. But yeah, he'd had like out of body experiences where he'd like fly to this place known as the Plane of Silence, and then he ended up having to try to stop these swine beast things that were trying to get into his house at one point. Then he was exploring underneath a cave that ended up where abyss that like he found out that there was an abyss right under his dang house, and that's where the abyss in the beginning came from. Basically, the house probably got pulled in at the end, and then he goes on another journey through space as he apparently travels millions of years into the future, and he ends up in on the Sea of Sleep, where he meets the girl of that he loves more than anything. And there's only reason he stays at that house. This is a part that could have used a little bit more explanation, because as it is, it just seems like a almost like a strange inclusion. And then the guy ends up having trouble with the main creature in the abyss, and that's about all there is to it. Yes, it has some depressing moments. The poor dog Pepper that stays by his side loyally, and then the guy gets separated from the love of his life, and it isn't a very happy end to the story, and it doesn't really end in a very satisfactory way. But it's a wild ride. It's worth a read through. But yeah, I would give it a go. But just know that it's strange. It's an easy read, so you don't have to worry about. I mean, I read it over a span of many many days, and I never had any trouble picking back up where I left off. So it's memorable, and so I would give it a thumbs up. And like I said, it's a good read if you like weird stuff. This is definitely very weird. It was a little bit depressing to me, but yeah, I'd say give it a shot. And hope everybody has a good day out there. And like I said, give it a shot if you like reading and stuff. But I know a lot of people don't these days.